Hello, YouTube. My name is Chief, and welcome back to a brand new Steel Division Normandy 44 video. Today, I have for you a 2 versus 2 on the map of Omaha. I'm going to be playing as the 6th Airborne Division. In this one, I'm going to be playing with Arctander, who's going as the 2nd Infantry, and we are against Angel of Truth, who is the 3rd Fallschirmjäger, and Tin Can, who is rolling as the 716th. My objective is to hold the left side while Arc takes the right side. Um, Basically, in this one, since I was the Airborne, I wasn't really going to be trying to push through all of these open fields and whatnot. So primarily, I wanted to be defensive on this side here, over on this far left side, and I was putting most of my focus in this area with all the hedgerows and basically somewhat close quarters combat in this vicinity here, and Arc is going to be focusing on this whole side over here. So let me just show you what I've got going on. Got a I got an MG squad with the Command Airborne troop and the Airborne, and a couple of Piat squads. They're going to be pushing up to this general area here. Over here in the midsection between my guys, I have a command troop with Piats and some more airborne infantry. I've got some pathfinders, and they're going to be sent to this general area over here. And over here on the far right side, I bring up the scout sniper, and I'm going to be putting him over here in these hedgerows just to give myself some really good eyes on this far right side. Bring up the 75mm AT gun that you get at the start of the game, and he's going to be rolling to this hedgerow here to kind of give some line of sight into this area over here. I've got a Command Tetrarch along with a Little John, and they're going to be assisting my main force of troops over here on this, on the right side of the left flank. Got all my troops pushing up. Let me go ahead and switch it to my perspective just so you can see what I can see. So right now there's nothing. Got a couple of troops over here on this right flank. Got the Pack 41 and the Kubel MG pushing up slowly towards Arcs, Marauders, and Rifle squads. Right about now I'm just starting to unload my troops and pushing them forward. At the start of this one, I didn't want to bring out the Mosquito Pathfinder that has the napalm because it was a really big investment, and I didn't think I was really going to be needing it, but perhaps I could have used it over here on this right side against the Fallschirmjäger here in this area, just to kind of stun them and make them fall back to give Arc some more time to push up his units. At the start, I didn't intend on going into the forest. I had planned to take the left side of the road. Arc was going to take the right side of the road, and nobody really captured this this forest here in the middle. And I'm sure most of you know that once enemy contacts get into that forest, they are a bitch to get out of there. So you're going to see that play a role in this game critically, as that forest is going to kind of be a pain in the ass at first, but we do manage to secure it eventually. Enemy's going to be bringing out the Ju-88 right at the start of the game with the 1450. I believe these are, I guess they're 70 kilogram bombs. Get 14 of them, and that's going to be flying around, and he's soon going to be dropping it on the AT gun of Arctander here, and that's going to be forced to fall back. Doesn't necessarily die, which is a good thing, but it is forced to fall back, and it can give the troops of Angel of Truth a chance to push up. With the first couple of ticks, I did decide to buy the Pathfinder, and I'm going to be dropping that napalm on the AT gun and the Kubel. Perhaps I should have went for the Fallschirmjäger and the Fallschirmjäger just to kind of make them fall back, as these units over here were already pinned down. But I didn't realize that at the time. Here you can see my Vickers HMG is going to be opening up on the MG34, as well as a PaK 40 70mm machine gun there in that center area. I got the Airborne Bren group opening up on the Ostruppen of Tin Can. Got the Little John and the Command Tetrarch just taking it slow right now. They're going to be just trying to assist. At some point, I do get some units over here to even out the front line. And, well, I'm going to be having some contact here with Tin Can. Grenfear is going to be going down, and the Ostruppen no longer have any veterancy, so they're going to be pretty easy to weed out of there, as the Airborne paratroopers as well as the Pathfinders are going to be pushing them back. Not an ideal matchup for Tin Can, as the Ostruppen aren't very good infantry. They are good to just throw places, and they are very cheap, but against elite infantry, they're not going to be doing so hot. Here you can see a AT gun that I wasn't aware of, and that thing's going to be opening up on my Tetrarchs, and well, that's unfortunate. Command Tetrarch does go down, and this Little John is going to be forced back. He does eventually get taken out. I signaled that I just wanted to make sure that I remembered where that thing was, so that later in the game I could bring up some artillery and shell that position accordingly. I am bringing up a, what is this? I believe this is the 75mm howitzer that you get, and I'm going to be hitting this forest area. I'm going to be trying to pin down the MG34 and that 75mm AT gun, and those are going to be a big threat, and they're going to be forcing my Vickers HMG to be pinned down, and I'm going to tell them to fall back really quickly. Now that my armor on this left side is taken out, Tin Can's bringing up a Panzer B2, and he's going to be charging that forwards towards all of my airborne paratroopers. But I'm not super worried, as they do have the gammon bombs, and the Pathfinders have, who are they here? Oh, the airborne leader. Oh, nobody has. Oh, I do have a Piat squad here as well, so that provides some nice fire support against any enemy armor or light vehicles. And I feel like they kind of buffed the Piats a little bit, because when I remember first playing this game, they were absolutely terrible. I never brought them out when I was playing a match, just because they were so bad. I couldn't use them at all. But lately I've been using them a lot, and they have been really doing me a favor with handling light vehicles and such. Airborne Sniper is going to be pinning down the Grenadier Fear that tried pushing forward. I love these guys. You can just put them anywhere, and they're going to be pinning down the enemy really quickly. He probably should have told that guy to fall back there just to save his unit, but he doesn't, and well, he's going to go down. And the front line does start to kind of even out over here. Over here on this right side, Ark is holding his ground. At this point, he was focusing on this area. He pushed up the Ranger Assault Squad, and this has the flamethrower on it. And he is going to be taking out a lot of units in this area. If it wasn't for this Ranger Assault Squad, well, we probably would have never captured the forest here. And I'm trying to get him to move over to that PaK gun just so he can take it out, and he does eventually do so. Airborne paras are going to be pushed up to these tree lines. I'm trying to get them up there as far as I can. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get to this grouping of buildings here and set up a nice defensive line as enemy reinforcements come down this main road here. Not only would that cut off reinforcements, that would also give us a very big lead. As you can see at the beginning of the game, the Axis they did have like a 51% lead, and that gave them a few points, but you can see we've managed to even out the score, and it's 50-50. Ark's going to be bringing in some P-38 Lightnings just to provide some air superiority. I want to say that this game was a very competitive game. Angel of Truth over here with the third Falch, he was outstanding. He was really playing it well. He was using his air support very nicely. You can see they were both coordinated with their airstrikes, calling in the bomber along with the ME-109 to provide some air support for him so he didn't get taken out easily. And unfortunately, that's going to pin down a lot of my troops as they're going to be charging forward into this hedgerow here. Going to be telling them to fall back shortly as I see this Panzer B2 pushing up. Panzer B2 is a hell of a tank. It's got that howitzer on it that provides 9 HE. Not only that, it also has its main gun. So this thing has 2 guns that are able to shoot at you at the same time, and it is a pain in the ass to get rid of. Not to get rid of per se, but to kind of deal with when you're mainly focusing with infantry. Lots of reinforcements coming up here in the mid area. Have my Bren group and the Airborne Piet squad over here. They're going to be engaged with the Grenadier Fear and whatever tin can is going to be dropping off in these trucks. I bring up the Tempest to kind of support my Mosquito that just bombed the fresh troops that came in, so that was very useful. But I bring in the Tempest to scare off that 109, and he does fall back. I forget to tell my Mosquito to fall back, unfortunately, but he is going to get out of there at some point safely. I bring up a Vickers HMG to solidify the front line here. Going to be taking out a nice group of an easy target for the Vickers, that Ostrippen squad, and I'm going to be eventually pushing them forward. I also bring in the Tetrarch CS that has the 9 HE value on its main gun. Really nice vehicle for taking out tanks here. There goes the Mosquito Pathfinder. He's going to be getting out of there as Tin Can brings in a 109 of his own. Ark and I are going to be sending the air support in, trying to get this guy home safely, and he's out of there. More reinforcements coming in from both of us. Got that 75mm howitzer gun opening up on these Ostrippen troops that were here, but luckily the airborne sniper was able to pin them down before they could get any close, so that was really nice. 75mm AT gun's going to be opening up on that pack gun that was here originally, and that's going to go down really quickly. A bit surprising, but a bit not surprising, as the pack gun does have 4 HE value, so that's really nice and very useful. Throughout this game, I did rely heavily on this howitzer here. I normally don't bring these guys in, but I figured I'd get something up there to provide some artillery support. As you can see, it does have the 2-star veterancy, and oh my god, let me just say that this guy, he perhaps swayed the battle in our favor multiple times. He is outstanding. I'm forever gonna be bringing. I actually, after this game, because I only had one of these AT guns in my deck, actually, or not AT guns, howitzers. After the game, I put 2 more of them in there, and just because I enjoyed using it so much, it was really helpful. Really nice, close-ranged artillery support. It's got that 9 HE value. It's got smoke. It also has an 8 armor piercing value. And I'm going to be using the 9 HE value to take out and force the fallback the Ostrippen and the MG34. As you can see, that Panzer B2 is sitting mighty close now. Better be careful with that thing, or else my Pathfinders just might get a lucky kill on them. Who knows? Who knows? Enemy at this point is going to be bringing in a HS-129 along with a 2-vetted ME-109 to take out the Tempest that I brought in. That HS-129 is going to be taking out Ark's tanks over here on this right side. And that's going to be falling back. Another ME-109 is brought in by Tin Can to assist the engagement here. Excuse me. I'll bring up some more airborne paras and the air landing to just provide some extra security over here on this right side of the road. We are well into phase B right now, so at this point close to, I would say, halfway done with the match. Almost about that time. And, well, there is a lot of Fallschirmjäger troops over here. And let me tell you, Angel of Truth was really giving Ark a tough time over here on this right flank. Angel was really outstanding. Pack 40 is going to be pinning down my air landing, and Ark's going to be eventually pushing up the, as you can see there, I put the beacon down. Ark's going to be pushing over the Ranger Assault Squad to, well, burn the hell out of them. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Ostrippen's going to get flamed first, and their morale is just going to be demoralized. They're going to be pinned down and taken out pretty quickly. And there goes the pack gun to the flamethrower on the Ranger Assault Squad. Very useful units. Flamethrowers are outstanding in this game at the moment. I bring up a 17-pounder because I really want to get rid of this Panzer B2. And, well, there you go. Ammo explosion. That thing's toasted. Really useful. I decide to pull him out of the area that he was just in. And I didn't want to be shelled by this artillery and lose him really quickly. So I do pull him back eventually. I was using the howitzer over here just to smash these Fallschirmjäger troops that were in this tree line originally. As you can see, the enemy did bring in a 88 and are starting to bump up the amount of air support. Bring in the Mosquito with the napalm to hit the Fallschirmjäger there, and they're going to be forced to scatter all over the goddamn place. Really intense engagement here. I did unfortunately lose a lot of squads in this initial area, and there you can see I am starting to bring him back. I do pull him back quite a bit throughout this game, as I knew he was going to be getting targeted. Vickers going to be opening up on some sort of rifle squad. I assume it's just some Ostruppen, so I'm not really worried about that. I also bring up the, yep, just Ostruppen. Bring up the Tetrarch CS, and he's going to be engaging them as well, and they're going to be pinned down and forced to fall back. Bring up a Bren group, an airborne Bren group, to assist the Vickers and just kind of give us the advantage over here on this right side. As you can see, enemy is still winning. We just were finally able to take over 51% of the map, and we now have the +1 lead. Starting to climb up there, folks. Lots of infantry pushing up in this middle area. Got some more Ostruppen that have 1-star veterancy, so they are supported by the Krenfjord. And the 2-star Pathfinders are going to be engaging them really quickly. More troops coming in. Ark's going to be having a tough time weeding these MG34s out. I really like the MG34s in this game. They're a lightweight, I guess you could call it a heavy machine gun. They're really good. I like the way they sound, actually. Probably my favorite machine gun throughout World War II was the MG34. Don't ask me why. Just because. Unfortunately, I tried pushing up that pack gun over here on this left flank, but there was another MG34 hidden in these tree lines that I was unaware of, and that's going to get taken out, unfortunately. But I'm not super worried about it. I'm bringing up a second AT gun to kind of fill in the position, and you can see Tin Can's going to be trying to mount an offensive of some sort, bringing in a lot of troops over here. Going to be trying to weed out my Vickers and the airborne sniper over here. Lots of infantry up here in the tree line here. I bring in another Mosquito with the, I believe it's 2 or I don't know how many. He's got 500 kilogram bombs, and that's just going to demoralize the morale of all the troops in this tree line here. And right about now, I should be telling my troops to fall back. I do tell the Pathfinders to fall back at some point, but I do believe the Piet squad is going to get taken out here. Over here on the right side of the road, you can see that MG42 now. He's going to be engaged with the rifles and the, what is this? The T-30 HMC. What is this guy? Nice looking vehicle right there. It's got the, What is this? Alright, thanks. I'm not sure what that is. Probably a 75mm gun. Not entirely sure. It's got 8 AP value and 9 HE, so really good support vehicle there. Really light on the armor, as you would expect. It is a half-track. But that is a very nice support vehicle that ARC is using there to take out that MG42 from range. Over here you can see the Italian infantry and the Fusilier brought in by Tin Can. They're going to be pinned down by the Vickers HMG as well as the Airborne Sniper. And, well, their morale is going to be shattered. Going to lose a handful of guys there. Really cool looking guys. Currently have a 52% map control, rocking a +1 lead. Angel of Truth is really going to be causing us some grief with these HS-129s and the amount of air support that they're going to be calling in. ARC gets in P-47 Gabby, but unfortunately I do believe that's going to get taken out. Well, maybe not. Who knows? Let's find out here. I bring up the Tempests to assist in the air combat. I do believe Gabby was able to get out of there. But we're not going to be able to walk away with any kills there, and, well, neither are they, so nice air engagement there. ARC's going to be bringing in some more units over on this right side. He's got the Bofors pushing up. He also has some 105mm howitzers now. They're going to be really useful. Have a bit more range and a bit more AT or HE value than the 75mm howitzers. But then again, the 75mm howitzer has that 8 AP value, so you can use these against tanks, and they have somewhat of a fighting chance. I bring up some extra airborne paras to solidify the front line here. As you can see, we were finally able to capture this forest here. Push up some assault pioneers along with the airborne leader. We got the air landing over here on the left side of the road. They're going to be engaging the Italian infantry brought in by Tin Can, and unfortunately the 81mm mortar that was over here, see it there firing, he's going to be able to pin down my troops in this area. Unfortunately, the Mosquito Pathfinder is going to be going down, but I managed to, he is basically going to be able to pay for himself. He did his job throughout this game. He lasted more than half the game, so that's all I could really ask for. Luckily, ARC's going to be able to save my Tempest, but the enemy is going to be bringing in another 109, and the P-38 Lightning there is going to go down, which is kind of a pain in the ass, but we kind of expected it, as we were playing against the 3rd Fallschirmjäger. And if you've watched my previous videos, I absolutely, when I was playing as the 3rd Fallsch, I mean, that deck, I feel, is just like, it's got outstanding infantry to hold the line, and you just got to rely on air support and artillery to help support your teammates and whatnot. So I really like using that deck. I kind of consider myself a support player when playing with 3 or more players. Just because I like the air forces and the amount of planes that you can get with some of the decks. I feel air power was very crucial during World War II, and it's very crucial in this game. So I think Eugene and Paradox nailed that one on the head just the right way. Fortunately, the enemy is going to be bringing up some Nebel Warfers. They got the rocket artillery with the 105mm rounds, and he's going to be getting some really nice hits on my units there. Unfortunate for me, good for him. Kind of stung a little bit. It pissed me off, but still going strong. I bring up the mortar here, calling the Mosquito with the 500kg bombs, as I saw a big group of infantry pushing across this open field here. I'm moving over the Airborne Bren group to kind of engage them and get first contact. Though Angel of Truth is going to be bringing out a crap ton of 109s here. Got the 2-star ME109 here, has a 1-star here, and has a 1-star here. Luckily, this 1-star is going to get taken out by the Polston here and the M16 MGMC. So that was good for a little bit of the game. One of the 109s is going to be forced to fall back. Gabby, unfortunately, is going to get taken out by the 2-star. And I didn't realize, I didn't realize that this guy was back here at this point. So I call in the Typhoon AT to kind of help, and well, that was a big waste of points right there. Might have been 210 points, I believe they are. It's between 200 and 220. I'm not entirely sure, and that was just a really big waste. Lack of situational awareness here, and I bring in the Polston to kind of engage this guy as well, just to get him out of our spawn. Excuse me. And it's going to be doing the trick. He's going to be forced to fall back there shortly. Enemy is starting to bring up some more units as the Italian infantry trying to push up against the Vickers HMG and the Airborne Sniper Recon. Has a PaK 40 75mm HE gun, and there you go. You can see one of the 109s is going to go down to the Polstons and the Tri-Polstons that I bring up. So that was very helpful. I'm calling up the off-map artillery. This is the troop carrier one with the 203mm off-map. Nice looking vehicle there. As I say in all of my vehicles, in all of my videos, I love the models in this game. They do a very superb job. I didn't need to call in that artillery strike on that AT gun, as my howitzer did manage to get him out of there really quickly and get the kill. So that was kind of a waste of an off-map strike, but I'm not too worried about it because I do know he has a handful of units in this area. I'm sure it wasn't the only thing that was in that tree line there, so I'm not too worried about it. Ark's going to be bringing up a AT gun of his own along with some rifle squads, and they're going to get pinned down quickly by the 81mm mortars that were over here. Was able to force some Fallschirmjäger troops to surrender, actually. They were low on morale, and I pushed over the airborne pairs along with Ark's rifle squad, and they're going to surrender really quickly. So, nice play on our part to push those two units over there together just to support each other. Nice engagement going on in the tree line here. Airborne pair is going to be pinned down by the Italian infantry here. Bren group's going to be opening up. Calling up some artillery support just to hit these troops to get my guys out of there. Enemy's going to be bringing in a lot of anti-air over here. Has the Flak Viervelings. What is that? Flak Feeling. And they're going to be engaging the Bren group over here on this far left side, and I'm going to be calling them back. I was just trying to push them up into maybe this tree line here to kind of sway the front line, but I was unaware of their presence. So luckily, I was able to spot that and get them out of there quickly. Just marking some targets for future reference during the match. Angel of Truth is going to be trying his best to push up here. At this point, there's roughly 13 minutes left in the game. We currently have a 53% control of the map with a +1 lead. Finally, we're able to take over the lead here, and you can see the major victory in 12 minutes and 34 seconds. MG34 along with the spare troop are going to be opening up on the AT gun and my airborne Bren group. Kind of unfortunate. I see that late, and I do call in the artillery strike on that position. Lots of Fallschirmjäger troops pushing up on this, on the right side of the road here, calling up a lot of troops here. Ark's got the rifle squads. I got the airborne troops. It's going to be a nice engagement there, as the artillery is going to be continuing to rain down by Ark Tander. It's got the 107mm mortars along with 205mm howitzer guns. So lots of firepower over there. I'm telling him to continue to push up this M3 scout car as the front line was influenced heavily over there. Nothing was in this area, so it just really shifted in our favor. We were able to get a nice gap there. All the fire support's going to be pushing or pinning down that MG42, and they're going to be taken out shortly. And Ark's going to begin to push forward his units there and give us an even bigger lead there at some point. Lots of fighter support between Tin Can and Angel of Truth. They were heavy with the fighter support. Lots of air superiority control throughout this game brought by them. Those ME-109s are going to be forced to surrender. Angels 109s are just going to be flying around in this area, being on standby, quick reaction force, if you will. Enemy does bring in some off-map artillery here on this big cluster of units here. Perhaps it might have been beneficial to kind of spread them out even the littlest bit, but we weren't really focusing on that right now. We wanted to handle these airplanes here, and we do take out one ME-109. Second one goes down, and now we're going to be trying to target that HS-129. Enemy 88s are going to be opening up on our airplanes, but they're not going to be able to do much as that HS-129 is going to go down. So, really nice air combat right there. We were able to bring in all of our fighters and take out a big chunk of points of the enemy air support. So that was really nice. We didn't lose any of them, and the enemy lost all that they had out. So nice engagement there. Gonna be calling in another off-map artillery strike. Fallschirmjäger is gonna be engaged with the rifle squads. Gonna be losing a little bit of ground over here in the mid area as the Fallschirmjägers of Angel of Truth is going to be pushing on my airborne paras. As you can see, they only have one. Both of these squads only have one man in each of them, and I'm calling in the 3-inch mortar to provide some suppression and helping these guys get out of there safely. Lots of stuff over here on this left side. I am going to be able to hit a bunch of things with that off-map artillery strike. Do manage to take out one of the anti-air guns there with it, and as you can see, that rocket artillery is going to be hitting this position very hard. All my units are going to be forced to fall back as those Italian infantry are going to be charging forward. Pretty elite infantry. They got the Panzerfaust along with, what are these? Oh, well, can't tell you now. Some sort of submachine gun along with MG42s. And it is just, it's a very strong unit to have that the 716th Infantry Division provides you with. Really nice unit. Good matchup for the airborne paratroopers. Although the airborne paratroopers do have that one extra star veterancy over the Italian infantry. Let's see here. What are these? The Beretta M38. MG42. They're going to be engaged with this armed or airborne paratroopers. And I'm bringing over the airborne Bren group to kind of provide some support. I don't want to lose this squad here, as they are holding the front line there in that area. Got the artillery bombarding this Pack 40 here, 75mm. That thing's going to be pinned down, and I do believe I am able to take him out. We're going to find out here with this shot. That's way off. But they're still coming. Hopefully I can get him with this one. Let's see. Nope. Round does land on target. Not going to do the job. Although the M16 MGMC is going to be opening up on him, and he's going to go down really quickly. Ju-88 is going to be coming in, and I will accept that any day. One squad, or a squad that has one guy in it, if the enemy is going to use a big bombing run like that on him, I don't have a problem with it. I will sacrifice that every single day. One guy is all it was. Save the lives of 100 others. And there you go. Tin Can's gonna leave. We have 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. These Italian infantry, they're not going to be able to do much running through this open field there. And they're going to be pinned down by the M16 MGMC. As you can see, I am bringing up some Bren groups. I do want to start pushing over here, as I do know the AI is taking over at this point. However, they are smart. They push up this flak feeling, and they're going to be pinning down the Bren group that I have going for this tree line here. So that was kind of unfortunate, but I'm not super worried about it. All of our anti-air vehicles are going to be taking out that 109 there, so really big help. Call up some more off-map artillery. Got the Willys Jeep with the 381 millimeter naval battery off-map artillery, and he's going to be bombarding this whole area. There was mass amounts of troops pushing up here. As you can see, Fallschirmjäger Pioneers, they're kind of a bitch to deal with. You got some more Fallschirmjägers in this tree line here. Bit of a nice engagement. I bring up the Typhoon AT to use against the infantry here to make them fall back. Kind of a, I don't know, it was a really good game. Had Airborne versus Airborne and infantry versus infantry. Not a lot of tanks in this game, and I actually prefer that more. I'll take an infantry versus infantry game any day. The 3rd Fallschirmjäger, they do have those Stugs, but the 700, the heaviest tank that the 716th Infantry has, I believe it's the Panzer 35. So right off the bat, you could tell that that's not really that big of a threat. 17 pounder is going to be opening up on the what is this? The SDK FZ7 that these guys haul in the flak 41s, the 88 millimeters. Loads of half tracks going to be coming down this road here, right into line of sight from my AT gun here, and they're just going to get cut down immediately. So this guy's going to be doing his job, and all of these are going to be taken out, forced to fall back, and then some. So right now there's a little bit of a bloop here in the front line. There's some sort of unit in this general area, whether he's in the tree lines here, he's in these little hedgerow type looking bushes. Right now, enemy's going to be bringing up some more. I believe these are Panzer B2s. You got 2 of them pushing up. Call in some off-map artillery in this general area. Going to be hitting that flak 41, and he's going to be forced to fall back. Enemy's got some artillery opening up on the Airborne Bren group. Look at that. He's got 3 Panzer B2s, I do believe they are. My Tripolston isn't going to be a match, and he's going to go down really quickly. Enemy's got a lot of artillery over here in this general area, as there are 3 minutes left in the game. We've got roughly 1,300 points and a 53% map control. Calling in the off-map artillery to kind of hit these tanks before they could do much damage. Got 10 seconds on that. Let's take a look here. Hopefully we can take some of these out, or at least get them to fall back and splash. Rounds are going to be coming in and pinning these vehicles down. Ju-88 comes in for the bomb run on the howitzer, but he's not going to do much damage. He is going to get my supply vehicle, which is a pain in the ass. I'm not super worried about it. Howitzer is still up, and as you can see over here, the off-map artillery does manage to take out a one of those Panzers. At least I think it was in that area. Perhaps I was wrong. What is this? Oh, that's not it. Oh, here you go. This Panzer B2 is going to be taken out by the... Wow. Well, I don't really know what it was taken out by, but it was taken out by something. And there you go. Off-map's going to be doing its job and taking out another Panzer B2. He's got 2 more of them, though, and well, one of them is going to be forced to fall back. You can see there. Morale's shattered over there on those tanks, but they're going to be engaging the Bren group there. As you can see, these things, he was able to fire 2 shots at a time, basically, at my airborne paratroopers. And I'm pushing up the airborne, at the air landing to get their cannon bombs out, and hopefully I could hit these guys really quick. One of them's going to bail out. See if I can take him out. No, he's going to be forced to fall back, but they're going to be pinned down by the flamethrower on there, as well as this MG42 that the enemy does bring up. Less than a minute left in the game. Ark and I are patting ourselves on the back. This was a very intense game. Really tough one. Very well played, to say the least. Angel of Truth, he was really giving Ark a tough time on this side. Tin Can was kind of a pain in the ass in this on the left side of the road here in this general area with his Italian infantry, and he is going to be pushing me back a lot at times, but I did manage to hold the line. Going to be able to influence this left side with the Vickers HMG against all the advancing Italian infantry, and the Fusiliers here has a Pack 43 that's going to be engaging them as well. And at this point of the game, we do have air superiority, and I think that that's what mattered the most throughout this game, was the air superiority. And well, there you go. There you have it, folks. Another major victory. Really, really fun game. Arctander really enjoyed it. This was literally the first game that I played on the day, and it was such a good one to have, good one to start off with. I quit it after that. I wanted to leave it on a good note, and it's just nice to get a good victory like that against some pretty good players. Thought we were going to lose it right in the beginning there. They did have that +1 lead on us, but you can't give up right at the beginning of the game, and as you can see, that paid off for us. So not too shabby with the kills to loss. Could have been a little better. I was actually really surprised that I didn't have more losses than kills during that game. But then again, I do think the air superiority that we managed to secure towards the end of the game did have a lot to do with that. So, well, I'm going to leave it with that, folks. I hope you guys have an awesome day. I will see you on the battlefields, and as always, stay tuned for more.